y'all, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chanina. Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday. Y'all, I'm off today, so I'm trying to get started on a couple of projects that I've been wanting to do all week, and one of them is getting into my budget planner. Since it's the beginning of the month, and I want to go ahead and get started with that. Mainly because I want to be a better steward of my finances, not saying I'm horrible at it. It's just, every year I try to do better than the last year. And that's how I do, like, how some people do like resolutions and stuff like that. Like, that's normally like my number one goal, because I don't say resolutions, I just say goals. My main goal is always to create a better situation than the year before financially, right? So when the pandemic happened, a lot of stuff happened with finances, right? My husband he couldn't go back to work. So that was like a major chunk of our finances. And then my work was slow. So it was like, we were kind of like penny to penny around here. You know what I'm saying? And once again, it made me think like, dang, here we go again in a situation where we wasn't prepared. We were not financially prepared when we could have been prepared, prior to that happening, that was a global thing. So, but prior to that happening, we had a situation where we had to leave, the apartment we were in because of a situation that happened with my stepson. Well, that happened right when we were at the point where we were saying, we're going to start putting away money. And then, boom, right after that, we had put a little bit to the side. And then right after that, that's when that situation happened. So we had to move, we had to U-Haul, we had to rent a room, we had to do a lot of things. And then we ended up at my mom's house living with her for a while. And of course, had to pay our way there. And then it was just really, really hard. And the thing about that whole situation was not being financially prepared, right? And at the time when we were going through that situation, there was a lot of things going through my head, of course, because of what took place. I was just upset that we were even in that situation to begin with. So I was blaming my husband the whole time, like, honestly. And then, he didn't get the full blame. Well, he wasn't getting any blame with the pandemic situation, but with that prior situation, I did build a little resentment because I couldn't understand why we were even in that situation. But you know what? Over time, I had to take responsibility for my end as well. Like, I had to realize, well, you know what? I could have put more money to the side, or I could have been more disciplined, or I could have not been so, oh, I got it, when the man is supposed to have it. I could have did a lot more on my end too. So, I mean, we all make mistakes. So in that process, leading up to now, there was other than our financial situation, there was a lot of other things that I wanted to change about myself personally. So I'm now to a point where, since we can't get on the same page financially, it's time for me to just take responsibility for my own situation, right? Because that's definitely one thing that we honestly don't really see eye to eye on when it comes to our finances and planning for the future and things like that. Because I'm a, what if, type of person, or let's plan for this and let's do this in 4 or 5 years and let's start making move towards that, where he's more like a live for today type of person. If I got it today, then I'm gonna spend it today, So after a while of struggling with that, with that mindset, I got tired. I'm like, you know what, forget this. I have to now go into this thinking like, well, I'm just by myself, because if I keep trying to include you into the situation, we ain't gonna get nowhere, So that was kind of like the inspiration, because he had said something to me that kind of broke the straw on the camel's back. And ever since then, I've been trying to better myself financially by increasing my income and building multiple streams of revenue, you know, because, you know, because yeah, we're married, but if he could leave tomorrow and then I'd have to do it on my own anyways, right? So that's kind of like the mindset that I've been in for like the last year or two. Like, you know what? If I was here by myself, I'd have to do it by myself anyway. So let me just get myself together and just take you out of the equation. Because if I keep you in the equation, then we're just going to keep rotating around that same first step, you know? So it was funny that I had popped this book open. It's The Millionaire Secret, 16 Proven Habits to Achieve a Millionaire Life. And it was funny because the first habit literally goes into all of that, you know, goes into, in this short little you know, 2-page section, it goes into basically taking responsibility for your own self. You know, stop blaming your spouse, stop blaming other people, your boss, and all that. So let me read it to you guys and tell me in the comments if you can, if any of this resonates with you and kind of makes you do like a self-reflection on different past situations that ultimately, if you were financially ready, would that situation have gone the way it had? Like, y'all get what I'm saying, right? All right. So anyway, habit number 1 in this book is be your own boss. Take responsibility for your own life. You can only change, this is a quote, you can only truly change your life when you become aware and take responsibility, 100% responsibility for where you are. So let's get into it. So the first habit is to be your own boss and take 100% responsibility for your own finances and life, even when you work for others. Here, I clearly want to highlight, take 100% responsibility for your own financial life. The reason for this is that most people are blaming either the government, they're blaming their boss, they're blaming their spouse, or they're blaming the lack of opportunity. They believe the world is against them. They're using these excuses as the reasons why they are not financially free and why they're not thriving in life. So just in that first paragraph, you know, if you're open, because you have to be mentally open to receive this, right? And I had mentally prepared myself like, okay, I'm doing a financial journey and I have to be willing to receive the truth, you know, because that's the only way that this is going to work. You have to be completely honest with yourself. Right? So just in that first paragraph, it hit me because back in the day, I was doing a lot of blaming. Even before the situation with my stepson, I was doing a lot of blaming because it seems like at that time, it felt like everything that I tried to do was not working out. Every job that I applied to, I didn't get. A lot of applications that I filled out, I didn't get a call back or I didn't get a response if I reached out to them. Every time I tried to get childcare for my daughter, I was running into a brick wall. You know, it was just a lot of things that I was blaming. And what ultimately happened was because I was like, dang, why is it seem like they're against me? Why it seem like I can't find a job? Why it seem like I can't find affordable daycare? Why it seem like this is happening with the kids? Why does it seem like this? Why, you know, when really all I had to do was just take control of what I could take control of, right? Instead of just letting everything just fly in the wind. And I didn't realize how much control I had back then. Looking back, I had a lot of control that I could have taken back then. There was a lot of situations where I could have stepped in and said something or did something. But because I allowed myself to get in my own way, or because I felt like I wasn't good enough, or because I felt like I didn't deserve it, or because I felt like I had to please others and put myself way, way to the back, like so far to the back that it was almost non-existent, you know? Because I was doing all of that over and over and over and over again, I was getting the same results over and over and over again. And then I got tired. I got tired of getting the same results. I got tired of going down the same path. I just got tired, you know. So then I started getting into like a depression that I never admitted to anyone. I always kept it to myself because I'm really good at just keeping stuff on the inside. And I just said F it, and just started letting things just continue the way that they were. Well, when we came here to this apartment, I wanted to change that. I wanted to change because I felt like we were getting another opportunity to try to do it right. Okay. And I didn't want to take the opportunity for granted because we had already been through a whole lot of stuff prior to that. And so when we came to this apartment, I immediately said, you know what? I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be in that situation again. We keep going down the same path. We keep riding this, the same bull at the rodeo. We keep doing this. I want to do something different. So what ended up happening was I wanted to do something different, but my husband wasn't on the same page, right? So leading up to today, now I'm on my own personal financial journey because I tried to, do a financial journey with my husband, and we're not on the same mindset, and that's okay. Maybe it's going to take him a little bit of time to get tired, and then he'll want to do the same. You know what I'm saying? So next paragraph says, as long as you think like that, you'll stay in victimhood. And when you maintain a victim mentality, you cannot change your life. The perception is that someone else, not you, is controlling your circumstances. Right? Once you start taking responsibility for your actions, you can truly change your life. By taking responsibility, you're taking full power back into your own hands, and you can transform your personal and your financial life. That is so true. Once you start thinking different and you start taking baby steps and developing small habits that then lead up to bigger habits, things will start slowly but surely changing, soon enough. Maybe not right away, but at some point you'll start to see your efforts pay off, right? All right, so this is the first step and perhaps the most important one. Without this step, the other steps will not fully work because you'll always find reasons why you're not successful or why it's not working. Okay, you will continue to blame others and remain in victimhood without power of your own. So like I said, there's a lot of situations where mentally I didn't think I had the power, but looking back, I had a lot of power, right? But it was all in the mindset. That was the mindset that I had. I didn't, so this is the first rule that you should apply to every one of the habits that I'm going to mention in this book. Now, taking 100% responsibility is also super important if you're in a saying it doesn't work. Now, this sentence right here, I've read it a few times and it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to be typed like that or if there's a word missing. So it's not me, y'all. I can read. All right, so it does work for some people, but in many scenarios, it doesn't work because you first must learn to take 100% responsibility for your own finances. If you're doing that very well, your partner is also doing it very well, then I believe sharing one financial account will work very well. If both of you don't take 100% responsibility, there's a big chance you'll be blaming each other for your financial mess. When one person takes all responsibility and the other doesn't pull his or her own weight, there may be a lot of unnecessary arguments that could easily have been avoided, that don't make your life better or work to improve your financial situation. What I personally recommend is that each person should have their own financial account to manage and one account that they share together that they can manage together. And this is one way to deal with it. Take 100% responsibility. So I just thought that was interesting. I just wanted to read that to you guys. You guys let me know in the comments if anything that I read kind of resonated with you, kind of made you look back at some things that maybe you could have had more control than you thought you had at that time in changing the situation. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this, what I just read as well. Are you doing what are the words I'm looking for? Are you starting a financial journey of your own or are you going to wait until the turn of 2022? What are you guys' plans?
Oh, hello, Papa.